you know what? One of these days, you're going to get a TTT without Redline, and you know what's going to happen? Nothing, because you're not going to fucking watch it. Because...
Pretty good meme, actually.
What is? A
should
TTT
just have,
without
like...
me?
I was gonna say, she just get Rain to actively pretend she's you for an episode. Like, name herself Redline 13, whole 9 yards.
That would be wild. Okay, guys, I know the microphone's not muted. Okay, I can see the bar moving up and down. I know it's very loud. So
Giggity.
Stop it. Anyways, welcome to Trash Talk Tuesday. My name's Redline 13. I am your host for this evening. I'm joined by Villy, Thomas Lear of the famous Thomas Lear Jumps, Pittsburgh 2989, famous person. I'm also joined by who I believe is Typherian, the Great from the Criterion lands. We've got Don Rhea, Kale Eagle's Eye, Skyhawk, Everclear. Nothing?
Everclear.
Okay, alright, you got it. And also, we've got the certified puppy, Riker, who just got his show canceled because he's joining Goons. But I hadn't told him that yet. Riker, you're canceled.
Yeah, that's less work for me to do.
Wait, no. Don't do that. Anyways, it's Tuesday. It's time for Trash Talk Tuesday. I've got a lot of shit to talk because I saw a whole lot of crying going on this past week from a lot of different people. Most of it was directed at my bro Pittsburgh, which I don't understand. You guys just don't get him. At least he doesn't hate dolphins and women. Also, there was a big fight in Poshvin. Apparently, fraternity started a huge engagement there. GF frat. And also, did you guys know the ESS mechanics are dog shit now? And there's nothing anybody can do about it? I did. And I'm going to tell you more. With that being said, where do you guys want to start? How's your week? Had a good week? Where are we going with this?
I'm a dinosaur.
You're a dinosaur? How are you still playing that fucking dinosaur game?
Because it's fun.
Okay, but like...
play it until Pokemon comes out in November.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, but like, how can you...
I pre-ordered my diamond, so I'm ready to go. I'm debating on getting
we
both.
Can Ghost Pokemon or Ghost Eve for that then together. It'll be great.
No, you can play both at the same time. That's the best part.
So someone wants to get the real story about those dreads in TK. You're talking about the faction supers that died? Is that what you're talking about? Or you're talking about something else? I guess we'll wait. So, what do you... Pittsburgh, what's going on at SH? I hear you're in charge now. Can you tell us about that?
I'll start with, I am not in charge now. I might be in Alliance leadership, but I am not the CEO, nor do I even understand the game mechanics of how to vote somebody out, contrary to what Reddit said.
Wait, no. That can't be true. Because it said it on Reddit that you were in charge and that you voted out Anura and Wally.
Yeah, I don't understand how to do that, so definitely may have been initiated by Bob. Not me, though.
Listen, if Brisk is the de facto leader of Init, then you're obviously the leader of NSH.
I guess that logic path works. So yeah, basically, Under needed a break. Like, the dude's been running NSH for 2 years, got him a bunch of frags, and wanted to go somewhere else and just be a line member. So he passed off leadership to a bunch of dudes. There's like 4 or 5 of us, and we keep it going. Same exact thing.
Okay.
And everybody got super mad saying that we voted him out and blah, 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 because they believed a Bob troll post.
Damn.
Imagine believing a Bob troll post.
Yeah, it's like a every 2 months thing, and people are still dumb enough to go for it. It's pretty amazing.
See, Pitts, the announcements in Alliance say differently, so I don't know.
What did the announcements in Alliance say?
It's
You
like
know if you
taking
ever read
stuff
them.
seriously.
Why would I read them? What purpose do they serve, other than to notify me of things that I will find out eventually, right?
That's say you read them because you're a good Alliance member and you actually like to keep up to date and not be shit.
Okay, well, that's obviously not true. Because I'm a shitty
described
Alliance
everything
member.
that's not red line.
Huh? What? Oh, I understand. I heard what you said. It just took a second to click. That's not nice. I am a good Alliance member. But, okay. So, Anur and Wally left, and they left you and who else in charge?
So Wheeler from original NSH is still there. So he's the like longevity member. Yabby is the actual alliance leader, and then I'm handling PvP side, and we have Loith handling the like finance side, I guess.
So what you're saying is that we as a corporation have been in NSH for a few months now, and we're technically 50% of its leadership.
Sure.
Cool. So mission is successful. We
Yeah, but
have
I mean,
successfully
if you
taken
believe
over
Reddit, the
NSH.
alliance is also closing within like a week or so, since apparently we're all failures. I guess is what Reddit says.
Yeah, well, no, I think it was specifically saying that you were a failure.
Yeah, thanks for
like-
pointing that out. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry, I just have to make sure that everybody knows that I'm not a failure, right?
Oh, okay.
So everybody was talking shit about you. What do you want to say to everybody talking shit about you? No gamer words, please.
Well, Wally's a gamer word. We'll start with that. But in general, like people can get as mad as they want, dude. I really don't care. I'm still playing the game the exact same way I have the entire time. We did the same stuff in Goons, did the same stuff in NSH. We kill whoever we want. And NSH started off with a nice bang when we did the transition. We try to get people motivated to keep driving on, so they can be as salty as they want. But I really don't care, and we're just going to keep having fun. It's a shame that people aren't having fun, however the hell it is they're playing it with their crap alliances.
Imagine having so little fun in Eve that you need to shitpost on Reddit.
Yeah, imagine being one of the like 5 dudes that just like follows me on Reddit to shitpost. It's a really sad existence.
They just like follow you with a bag to pick up the things you leave behind.
Yeah, I think the meme about rent that you had is best served for some of them. I have so much real estate in their brains. It's amazing if they
Have you opened up like a condominium or?
Yeah, I'm actually building a Trump Tower inside of all of Rote's heads.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
As well as some of the goon guys.
But
I mean-
Pitts, you're the worst because you didn't fight all of their officer faxes on an anti-sub cap fort with no caps of our own at equal numbers.
Yeah,
You're
and
terrible because of that.
it's amazing how strategy actually played out and their faxes ate a bag of dicks because they didn't think anything through. It's pretty crazy.
Look, cat batteries are overrated. Newt resistance is overrated. Okay.
Agreed.
Recharges everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get
It
more
doesn't
purple,
matter.
get more recharge. That's it.
Yeah, like
So,
the
did they
thing with-
literally just like not have a plan
Not
to
a
deal with
single,
Balgorns?
not a single cat battery between them. I don't know. All I
So
know is that you
the
can't
thing with-
spell success without suck, and that's what matters.
The thing with the Rote Fort was it was literally a troll RF. We had our meeting when new alliance leadership took in. We brought all the corp directors in. We're like, hey, we have a couple ideas for things to get people initially active again. We've been on a little hiatus since we came back from trying to shoot Dread Bomb. And everybody was like, yeah, dude, let's go shoot that fort and see what fight happens. And everybody's super salty and says, like, oh, you guys failed to RF it. Like, we sent it to RF initially with just our alliance, and then got the fight we wanted, and we killed Capitals. That was literally the goal from the start. Like, I can post a screenshot where I told Norris and he agreed, or he told me and we agreed. I forget which one it was, but where we're like, let's just go for the faxes, get rid of their caps, and laugh at them. So everybody's like, oh, you're ruining the Ponchton economy. No, what it is we actually got a fight. I'm sorry it didn't fit your narrow-minded way of PvP or whatever it is.
Well, I don't think that was the issue that people had with it, and I'll just play devil's advocate a little bit here. Mostly Pochman, in my experience, has just been kind of small gang stuff. But this was, like 800 people duking it out over a Fortizar. That's
I mean, if somebody has a better idea of how to fight 200 Ravens on a fort with 6 Dreads, 5 Carriers, and 4 Faxes, I'm all ears. But what it ended up was a dope-ass fight for both sides, whether they want to say it or not. Like, Rote killed a ton of TFIs. We killed a bunch of Ravens and their Faxes. Like, I think it was an awesome fight, regardless of the end result. And their fort's still there, so I don't get what everybody's problem is with a fight.
So how did they like? I haven't seen a video of the fight yet. How did they position the Ravens? Like how did they?
They were
They were
Same
basically
in the
way-
faxes on the undock.
Yeah, same way they always defend a fort. They just sit there, use the fort E-War, and then their task force or their ships to basically form a death ball and then shoot
Yeah,
anything.
it's the same Raven one-trick pony. They just fit max range, no props, tank, cruise missiles, and shoot stuff. And so we knew exactly what they were going to do and set up ahead of time for it.
When you say set up ahead of time for it, what did you do?
We had an entire nuding wing to basically remove all of their faxes because they don't actually fly with subcap logi. All they rely on is faxes.
Yeah, and like in K space, it makes sense because it's like who's going to drop dreads on an anti-cap Fortizar, but then it comes to Pochven and sub-cap Fortizars are, nasty. But
So did they not try to like just kill all your neuters or?
Oh,
Oh,
they
they-
tried.
They
They
tried.
did, but their
they couldn't do it
faxes
fast
died
enough.
in the same time.
Yeah.
Like we
What was
lost, 5 or 6 Balgorns and 16 Geddons?
Yeah, I think there was like 20 to 25 nuding ships altogether. So yeah, they just ate shit.
Yeah, and since they had absolutely no newt resist, like the first thing we neuted, the Nanazu, it was at no cap before my ship scanner cycled to check its cap. So even if they killed us, Ravens only shoot so fast, and that many
So
newts.
you guys warped in at like they set up their death ball. You guys warped in at 0, I assume, or
So
close to 0.
there's a video from FRT. The NSH guy's still making it, but basically we warped in at like 40k above the fort in a plane because they had bombers. They bat phoned to get bombers bar to show up, and then goon trial dudes showed up with bombers too. So we just went in
Okay.
a plane. They couldn't bomb us. And the second that they detethered a fax, we warped basically right below the fax within range to start shooting.
Wait, so they even brought bombers bar? Because I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw that ping, and I was like, "All right, that seems suspiciously close to a timer. Who are they going to support?" Apparently, they supported Rote. It's
I mean,
weird.
they didn't do anything. I don't know if they ever came in, but that's what I'm told is that they came for that shit. And then
They tried to
the
bomb
only
us
people I
one
ever saw
time.
bomb was Trial, who were
Yeah,
like
that's
goon
right.
pets.
So you guys are 40 kilometers above, and you guys are what, just trading TFIs and Ravens kind of thing for a few minutes?
Yeah, we sat there for probably like 30 to 60 seconds, just eating torp volleys, and then like we shot I think 1 or 2 Ravens, and as soon as we did that, they triaged their fax, and immediately we warped down.
And then they triaged all the faxes?
Yeah, they for some reason they triaged the rest.
Oh.
Like we were honestly a little worried because if they hadn't triaged the fax, then we were just going to trade Ravens and TFIs the whole time, which obviously is a losing battle there. But they had about 2 seconds of brain power and triaged up and let us get the kills.
Fair enough. And I assume the dreads docked by the time you guys went through
The
faxes, or?
dreads and carriers never detethered, otherwise they'd have died too. The very first dread, well, actually, it was a dread that detethered first, a Naglfar, and it tanked pretty decently until our newts made it, and then the rest just sat there tethered, not doing anything.
Fair enough.
And now for anybody who is unaware, like the big thing with these caps in Pashren is that they are literally irreplaceable. No more caps can be brought into those systems at all, ever again.
So they have they bought out all the caps in Nabula, like all those are pre-existing ones, and that was our plan, was to delete some of those since they couldn't get more. And they only engaged with I think maybe a quarter of the caps they have there. So they've got quite a few more. That's just
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't there like a bunch of supers there and a whole bunch of other stuff?
they've got at least 2 supers and a bridge Titan, but I mean that Titan is never detethered since it went to Pochven, I would assume.
Can you even bridge in Pashren?
Yeah, you can bridge right out. Like that's why they
Out,
live there.
not
Is because
Oh,
you can
bridge out, but not between the
bridge
systems,
out
right?
with amazing range.
Yeah, because you can't light any Sinos in Pochven at all.
Okay, that's what I thought. So what do you think these caps are actually worth, like objectively?
So Obviously there's the Ezekiel value with the mods. Like one of them was Officer Fit, and they were abyssal and stuff. But I know we have been searching around for caps to buy, and the lowest offers was 15 bill, and I think the average was about 20 bill for a hull. Now again, they bought
It's
their
just a
caps
hull.
yeah, they bought them like a long time ago. Like Rote's had these since it started, so I'm sure they probably paid less than that, which justifiably like they're talking shit on Reddit, like, oh, I'll sell you a cap for 20 bill, blah blah blah. But like they've bought them all out. That's why there's none left. Like we got a couple. I know other alliances have a couple, but you just, I mean, they own most of them. Like I said, they have at least 10 dreads and had 10 faxes, and then they showed obviously that they have 5 carriers. So
Yeah, and to put in perspective, also that Ninazu is showing 16.5 bill on Ezekiel. So add, I don't know, 10 to that, or I guess add more like 7.5 or whatever it values the hull at. I'll bring that up to 10.
Well, also you've gotta know that like getting those officer mods and stuff into Poshvin is kind of dangerous in and of itself.
I mean, I'm sure they
No,
looted all the Pochvin or the officer mods and stuff. Like the second the fight started, they had a DST already scooping the loot, and it's a really nice time for loot drops. So like we killed some of the wrecks, but I'm sure they got a bunch of it back. So it's probably not a huge net loss, but the cap itself is gone forever.
It's crazy to me. Like it's kind of like the Veld knot, except it's not something where it'll get deleted if it's used. But I don't know. I can't tell whether it takes massive balls or tiny IQ to actually use the caps like that.
I mean, it's props to them for fielding them. Like there was what the BR shows like 400 to 180 or something. I'm sure there's plenty of people who didn't get on kill mills from both sides, so it's probably over that. But I mean, like that's the 100% predictable defense. They only have 2 moves. They either use Ravens or Dummies, and that's it. Like that's all they've ever used for defensive shit like that. So it's not hard to plan around, and makes it really nice to target. Like, okay, we know they're going to feel the facts. Let's kill it. Or hey, they're going to use Haw dreads or anti-cap dreads trying to kill battleships. Let's go for those. So we got the fight we wanted, and they got to kill a handful of TFIs for it.
And then is there really anything else that they can do, like aside from that, one trick that they have that would really work?
Not when you're
Do you have some
fighting
advice
like
for our enemies?
400 dudes. Like they were fighting FRT, us, and then Severance XIX. I'm not sure that coalition name, but those dudes came through a wormhole last minute because their other fight didn't pan out. But I mean, they could have had probably a much more even fight. It would have been us versus Rote, but the bat phones went all around, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and that was another big thing. Everybody was complaining about like who bat phone 2. That was really dumb to see. People shouldn't complain about bat phones. It's just the way EVE works. You bring more people because the game is completely based on who has more people. That's how EVE works, man.
Yeah, I mean, like every single person that I invited was like, dude, that was an awesome fight. Thanks for the invite. I was like, absolutely. That's why we did it. It was for fun. So people can get all butt mad, but it's not an eviction. Like we could have easily split guns, put a gun on the fort, paused it, sent that shit to final, and killed the fort. So they should just be happy that we got the fight and that was it.
Why didn't we do that though? Like I know you said it's not an eviction, but what?
Because I mean, they don't have any interest in changing Pochvin's ecosystem. I just wanted a good fight, and that was one of like 6 options for us to have a nice bang to start out.
So do you think someone could actually change the economy of Poshvin by like evicting one group or the other? Is that something that you
It's like low tech. There's a million NPC stations, so like you can't actually kick anybody out if they want to stay. They just go to the NPC station.
and just grab a filament back, right?
Yeah, because you could filament in at any time. But I mean, like from a standpoint of a major alliance, Pochvin is only fun for a small group because there's only so many sites and you're not going to get fights. So like for a really small gang, it's awesome. Like we've had a ton of fun getting chill fights, but like there's no strategic value to Pochven. It's not like you can go in there and drop your own fort or a keep star and be like, yes, we own everything. Like it's just a place to go have fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a shame the Ignite and Keepstar didn't fall into Pochven. That would have been an interesting.
Would have been a crazy fight.
That'd have been a terrible thing. How would you have gotten rid of it?
I mean, the same way you would with like a high sec keep star is just have to throw a million ships at it.
Yeah, I mean that one would be defended by like a full cap fleet is the problem.
Yeah.
Versus the defenders with basically none. It wouldn't be fun.
So, do you think that if they like reopened Pochven to capitals, it would completely ruin it?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the
100%.
fun parts about it is that you're just subcap brawling, and basically whatever you have is what you have. Like it's wormhole space, but a little bit easier to move around in. You don't have to
I think
scan.
if they enabled like once a month there was a wormhole with like XL mass, like once a month, you could get like I don't know 10 additional caps into Pochven a month, like Pochven total, right?
Well, the thing with Pochven is you can't move caps between systems. Like every cap is
correct.
Stuck in
so
systems.
whatever random system that wormhole spawned in, that's what you'd get. Right.
Yeah.
So three of those wormholes a month, 3 random systems get the possibility of 3 more caps, right? Like so you'd have like 9 caps entering Pochven a month total, like totally randomized. I think that would be like a interesting kind of manageable way to do it, but I don't really see any other way to do it.
Honestly, coming from someone who loves caps, no, keep it no caps. It's once you start
It's not no
introducing,
caps though. Like there's already caps there.
yeah, there's already caps there, but the only time they come out to play is a Fortizar defense or something really important.
We have
If
not
it's
seen a
you
single
are
cap
literally
used up
talking
what.
about the fight you had last night because of the caps you killed.
right, and that what I'm trying to say is how special of a fight that was that they actually came out. If you start introducing these wormholes where it's like you're adding 3 caps a month into one system or whatever, then you're gonna see, oh, well, there's a 25-man Leshak fleet. Let's throw a hot dread in it because who knows? Maybe in 6 months we can get another dread in here. Fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man. Like the problem with caps is not caps. It's when you have 100 caps or 50 caps or whatever, where they become oppressive. Caps in very small numbers, like 5, 10, 15, whatever. As this fight demonstrates, as many other fights demonstrate, like in many cases they're all but fucking useless. Right?
Yeah,
like,
but by the same token, it would crush the small fights you get because, like, if you feel the Hodred, the 15 dudes that are running around, they're not going to kill it. So one Hodred in each system would be very oppressive if that group like stacked them up everywhere and you wanted to actually hunt around.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree.
Like if it was like a finite amount of time, like it was 9 per month, 3 different systems for only like 2 months or 4 months where like it can actually distribute around, maybe. But like just like with Keepstars, everybody was like, oh, there's not going to be mass Keepstar spam everywhere. Hello, watch what happened. If time progresses in Eve and things and oppressive mechanics are allowed to stay over time, they will by default become oppressive.
Which I think is why a lot of people like Pochven is you're getting that small fight. It's brawling, like who doesn't miss 2013 Battleship brawls, and you don't have to worry about some asshole dropping 10 Hodreds on you or bringing in a bunch of super caps. Like it's classic Eve.
So
Don't
they
have to worry
did
about
do
them bad
Eve
phoning.
Classic.
Don't have to worry about a bad phone opening a Sino and then, oh look, there's 100 Munins on my fight. It's something that has to be planned ahead of time, and you can't really spur of the moment just light a Sino and bridge from staging or whatever.
And that's another thing. I wish I had someone from Frat here that could give some insight onto actually like getting all those ships into Pochven, because I imagine it was a pain in the ass to do.
Just filament and split your fleet.
All right, well that makes it sound like a lot less of a pain in the ass. Bits. Thank you. Thank you very
Then
much.
they jump through wormhole in shuttles and just grab ships from the NPC station.
But then bringing the ships into the NPC station is where it gets annoying then. You have to have a few different people make DST runs to drop off the ships, and those are battleships, so I think you can only fit one battleship hull in a DST, right?
Yeah, I mean, like for us, so we seeded, I think, 100 battleship holes basically between different things over, like for replacement ones, not even what dudes brought in themselves, but like 100 replacement ones. And that took us the better part of a week with a couple dudes just importing it. Like you'd fill them in tin with some malts, skate them over, and store them in the station. Like you can't just mass get ships there. Cruisers, yeah, like hacks and stuff isn't very hard because you can fit 6 in a DSD. But for the battleship fleets, it's not easy at all.
So you can't do freighters in Poshvin?
Nope.
No, they're considered caps.
Oh.
It is DST and down.
I
Basically.
don't think you can build either. I don't know what all the trig dudes killed. Like I know there was a campaign a long time ago where they killed everything, but
Yeah, I
like,
think
currently,
all the industry structures have been knocked out.
And what, you can't put more structures down?
correct. You can't drop anything, and you can't put new modules in, or
Yeah,
at least you can't put like a market one. I don't know about modules in general.
Okay, so see, that's interesting. I didn't even know that about Poshvin. There's all this interesting stuff about it that just makes it probably one of my favorite things right now. And I don't even know the half of it. So what else can't I do in Poshvin?
Hopefully CSP or CCP leaves it how it is. Like it's a very niche style of PvP. Like there's plenty of people even in NSH that don't like it because they want the big 0-0 fights. They want to use dreads. Like how it is now is great, and you can roam around and get PvE or PvP at the same time at any moment. It's pretty great.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I don't like about Pochven is the lack of citadels, because I'd rather live somewhere with a clone base so I can switch out implants easily.
That's what actually what I was about to say is the only, like, going back to Villy's point earlier, even though he's left, the only thing I would personally be up for is like a 1-day event where you can drop medium structures only in Pochven.
But if
I
you do
think
that, then it eliminates the chance for a lot of PvP because everybody will be cowards and just immediately dock up. Like it's already like that,
Yeah.
where dudes run instantly when they see a fleet they don't want to fight. So you got like that's what's nice about the wormhole mechanic with no local is you can surprise people. But if there's citadels everywhere, then you won't get very many.
Yeah, I would.
that's a good point.
I would personally just tie it to NPC faction standings. So, like how in a a corporation or alliance can only join faction warfare if the average NPC standings is good enough to the relevant militia faction that will cross all members. I would tie it to something like that, but standings with the Triglavian NPCs. If they like your members enough, they'll let you anchor citadels. And, well, the no caps thing already means that you can't bring in an Orca to carry Fortizar or Asbel.
But you can choose that because dudes used to do that all the time. Like when there was posses and there was no citadels. I don't know if anybody remembers, but you used to have corps that would have standing so you could anchor a POS in their space and online modules and then sell it to you. Like that was a service that was offered. They would just do the same thing where you make a corp, drop the structure, and then give it to whoever.
Yeah, what if you didn't maintain those standings across your corp or alliance that owned it, then the Triglavian NPCs would remove it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be dope. It's just the more complex for CCP, and I mean, honestly, it'll take a year for them to do a balance pass on anything once it's introduced, so.
That's really sad. That's a really sad thing about it. But that would be really cool if they introduced like NPC Sotio type mechanics where you had Africanized Triglavian rats just trying
to pretty Africanized. Like you'll
no,
see
but I mean like reffing your structures and shit.
Yeah, that's true. They don't ref them, but they're on all the Pocos and gates already. So
Yeah,
and they hurt.
There's dudes like herons running around permanently that just salvage and loot wrecks, and it's like a really easy way for a new bro to make millions of ISK instantly because all the stuff is worth quite a bit.
So someone is asking if we're reading the chat. Are you guys reading the chat? I'm reading the chat. I'm gonna go back and look at some messages here.
There's a chat.
Yeah, there's a chat. So someone says these dudes never even been to Poshvin. I'm currently in Poshvin right now, respectfully. This other person says you can bring orcas in. This is like boomers talking about new technology. I appreciate that. Usually boomers have some young whippersnapper who thinks they're too good to, talk about shit they don't know about and learn from it, and that's okay.
I thought orcas were considered caps for no going to Pochvin.
They're not. You can get them in.
I mean, I just never tried because I don't have any characters that fly orcas because that's some crab shit.
If you can get an orca in, cool. I mean, I know you can because Horde was mining with them, but
apparently they're considered battleships for filaments.
I guess that's not too surprising.
It's weird though.
And if
it's kind of weird.
Dude who says never been to Pochvin,
sitting in the port right now,
probably smoked your alliance before already. Like we've only been here 2 months, so
yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah, I remember when the original Christmas filaments came out. I went on a roam that was just mining ships, so we had orca links and everyone else was in procurers, and that was fun. So I know they can filament. The original thing. That was fun when I did that.
I hope we keep having fights in Poshvin because one of the big misconceptions about Poshvin and Pits, I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but it seems like a good time to talk about it. But it's generally that people think that it's just an easy, smooth sailing way to generate a shit ton of ISK. But you put a lot of risk out there. It's like these Rote guys, they thought that their shit was going to die, that they were going to get kicked out of Poshvin. They didn't know that it was just a troll or just a content generator. And they risked capitals that they literally cannot replace to stay in there. And that's kind of the risk that you face. So it's,
yeah, I mean, the dudes that we're talking about how it's no risk and you can farm away are the brain deads from HiSec. Like, they clearly have not done anything in Pochvin, because I'll tell you that basically every single day for the last month and a half, I've gotten a fight of some sort in Pochvin while doing crab fleets. So
yeah, how many crab fleets have we jumped on like this week? I can think of like 7.
Yeah, I mean, we chase a Lashak fleet or a Praxis fleet almost daily. So the dudes that are doing that are the guys who look at some stupid Z-kill stat and don't actually realize what's going on. So it's mighty nice of their consideration from HiSec, but they're ignorant to what actually happens.
Yeah, if the observatories are no risk, what are incursions then?
Also,
yeah, I mean,
no
it's
risk.
The same
honestly.
as incursions, except much greater risk because you don't have local, so you can't see people come instantly, and the rats point. So, I mean, like, we caught a damnation before they got tackled by rats and he whipped his fleet out. It's not bad.
This gentleman says that incursions are negative risk. I'm inclined to agree with him, especially high-sec incursions, because really, what kind of threats do you have other than the rats that you're killing? Nobody's gonna like flash war deck you and just come and kill you in high-sec.
Yeah, I mean, CCP, I think, is making
you can't flash war deck anyway, so
good step with the crab beacons, because you like what I think the reason why Pochvin's so fun is because you're talking a massive amount of ISK you can make, and then you lose it. Like, I'm not positive from my time being in Pochvin because we keep taking fights. Even if we're going to lose the fight, like, we just keep reshipping and go again. And the crab beacon is kind of along that path where you can make a pretty high amount of ISK. So maybe that's a good step. But like, Pochvin's the PvE that Eve needed, where you put shit on grid. Like, we hang out in a group of 10 to 15 dudes, bullshit on comms, you get fights, and if you die, nobody really cares because you can make it back in a few hours. It's not like, oh my god, it took me 3 weeks of saving to get that ship. Whereas if I was Ishtar ratting, like, I don't even know how many hours of Ishtar ratting it takes me to make up an Icky Tursa.
A lot.
It takes a lot more than, a few sites in Poshvin, like we do.
Yeah.
But I will say, the first time that I undocked in Poshvin to go and do a site with you guys, I sat at the fort for about 10 minutes, like, wondering if I should actually jump, or if I should stock back up and wait, or what was actually happening. It's pretty terrifying.
It's a bit spooky until you get used to it. The whole no local thing is kind of...
That's cool. Like I said, it's like wormholes, but a little bit easier to navigate. You don't have to rely on probers nonstop, and if you die, you can get back in. Like, it's not immediate. You're stuck on aggro timers, but you can get back in eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
It could have been like when I was in Wormholes, which wasn't a long time ago and not for super long. Pochven, we also see a lot more other people. Like Wormholes, I'd go days without seeing anyone unless I was like hopping out of the static to go find someone. But in Pochven, it's like we're out ratting for 10 minutes. It's like, oh, hey, there's a battleship fleet there. There's another one over there. There's 3 guys camping that gate.
Yeah, I've only done a very small amount in Pochven, but I think if I hadn't spent my new player time mostly in Wormholes, I'd be much more reluctant to undock and do stuff in there, because it's definitely scarier than Nullsec. It's just not as scary as when I was living in Wormholes and got used to being the only one around and not knowing if someone was out hunting me.
At least in Pochven, you know that somebody's out hunting you 100% of the time.
Yeah, there's always somebody looking for you, which is like how we caught Rote in their battleship fleet. You get complacent and you don't think somebody's looking for you, and next thing you know, a bunch of bombers decloak, or a bunch of Ikis warp in, or a Leshak fleet shows up. Like, you just assume that you're getting PvP every day, and it's pretty fun, as opposed to, oh, let me go roam 0-0 for 1,600 jumps, and maybe I find somebody, or maybe I just run into the Marauder home defense fleet, which is super boring.
And then 100 Horde Munins drown you.
Oh yeah, I've never really enjoyed nullsec roaming because of that reason. It's you either find nothing or you find a blob. I've always considered low-sec to be my preferred roaming space, because if you're going to find something, you're going to find a more reasonable fight in a shorter distance.
Yeah, I mean, 0-0 is in a really crappy spot right now. Hopefully the crab beacons start to change it a little bit. I think CCP finally did something right when they increased the ISK you make from those. But they need more like that. Like, all the regular anomalies and stuff need to be more like Pochven, where it's fun and you actually make ISK and make it more than something you can bot with a single Gila. Like, get people hanging out and chilling on comms. Like,
yeah, I've been saying that for a while, that they need to, in order to fix nullsec, they need to make it PvE interesting, so people don't just try to do it with the least amount of effort and least amount of risk possible.
Yeah, it needs groups. Like, when we started Pochven, I was struggling to get 15 dudes. Like, we were dual boxing or triple boxing to get enough. And now we ping and it's like, okay, we're full. Like, we've got enough people. You're going to have to wait, because people are hanging out on comms and they're having a good time bullshitting, and you can't do the site with a solo person. Like, you need a couple to hang out and do it together, which is awesome, and exactly what the game I thought was for a while. But I mean, it's kind of degraded from that with scarcity.
Yeah, and Iron Wolf in the chat says it very well, that it doesn't even need to be interesting, it just needs to be worth the time. And like right now, everything in Null seems like it's just not worth the time. And that's a really good segue to the next topic, but we're going to stay on this one for a second, because if we start talking about ESSs, I'm going to lose my fucking cool, because I'm so mad about that.
About what?
What do you mean about what? You don't know what they did to the ESS?
I know what they did, but why are you so salty?
Why am I so salty? Because I have to spend an extra 15 minutes in some dead-end pocket waiting for some moron to come fight me. For the same
reason that Dawn is probably happy about it.
I don't care either way.
Alright. Well, we can jump back to Pochven later if we want to. So what they did to ESSs... You know how... Yeah, we can fill them back. So, you know how ESSs... one of the most common things to do is take a filament to a random pocket in space, and then you go find an ESS, set on it, hack the thing, and wait for something to happen. And 9 out of 10 times nothing happens, but that 1 out of 10 times something really cool happens. You know that part?
Yeah.
So, in their infinite wisdom, CCP have decided, thanks to community feedback from somebody that I don't know who submitted this feedback,
it was totally Billy.
But if I find out, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna deliver a delivery of Void L to your doorstep. Anyways,
Praise be.
what they did is they made it so that engaging with the ESS, so hacking the bank, refreshes your PvP timer. So if you want to engage with the ESS, would you say good?
Yes.
Oh my god, it was you. You offered the feedback. Anyways, point being is that
Big deal with that, though?
the big deal with that is, have you ever solo roamed ESSs? Have you ever streamed like solo PvP content? Right? You haven't, right?
No, I didn't know that was really a popular thing, but continue.
So it is, and it's something that, content creators that are very popular, one specifically is Bjorn B, who, said...
And Pando.
Exact same sentiments both ways as far as I know. But basically what it is that your job as a streamer and as a content creator, especially for yourself, is to find something to do to be entertaining while you wait for something in-game to happen. Because nullsec is empty most of the time. It's garbage. We know this. But the thing is that you go to an ESS, if nobody's there, you wait for 15 minutes, but you're hacking some tiny ESSs that nobody wants to come fight you on. And then when you're done, you just leave. But at the very least, if you didn't get a fight out of it, you at least got something in the form of 50 million ISK or something like that. Something shitty, but still something, right? Now, you just have to sit there and patiently wait for whatever to happen, and if nothing happens, you get nothing but an extra 15 minutes that you spent, wasting time in nullsec. And am I asking,
like the ESS site or the crab beacon where you just sit there for prolonged periods doing absolutely nothing?
And someone's asking if I'm seriously suggesting that CCP should balance the game around streamers. If I said yes, would you want to yell at me about it? Because personally,
content creators generate more people joining. They see awesome content. They go, I like the looks of this game, so they do need to put that as a factor in development.
Yeah, I mean, nobody plays the game to sit there for 15 minutes doing nothing. Now, am I saying that was wrong? No, I didn't take part in any of those ESS things. We've done ESS raids, but not solo. So from what the chat's saying about how you could just instantly burn 100 off and ESS out or filaments out, that is pretty cancerous. You should definitely have balance, but
I mean, it is, right? But realistically, there's a 15-minute timer when you take a filament. And if you're sat in an ESS for 15 minutes, or you're sat waiting 15 minutes for somebody to come fight you, and they don't, and you're about to leave, and then somebody finally decides to grace you with their presence, fuck that. I've been here for 15 minutes waiting for you. I'm bored. I'm gonna go somewhere else where there's more people to fight. And that's the same thing if you're in a gang or something like that. So the ESS fleets that we do sometimes, those things, if we engage on those ESSs now, then everybody in that group now has to wait until that timer finishes, plus 15 minutes to go do anything. Yes, the ESS hack takes 15 minutes, but you can't take another filament until your PvP timer wears out, which means you're stuck in the general vicinity for 15 minutes. That is what I meant by that. So you're stuck in that area regardless. I mean, I can see both sides of it too, but where's the back and forth? I don't know if some sad Care Bear or something posted on the E forums, when someone filamented out.
Here. You want to bitch about that you want to bitch that you have a 15-minute timer if you start a hack, right?
Uh-huh.
So you want to filament in, hack immediately, and then just be able to jump out immediately. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, what
you don't
hearing...
You don't want to run the risk of waiting around on your timer and then going to hack and then filamenting in case shit goes bad, right? That's what you want to do.
What?
But now it requires you to start hacking pretty much immediately. Or you're going to have to wait.
I think he's mad about the waiting after you hack it where you have to just sit around even though nobody came to defend it and you can't leave because you have an aggro timer.
Exactly.
You can go through gates. There's jump gates.
Okay.
There's wormholes. Go on, move on. You don't have to sit in system waiting. You can go.
No,
look
you
for
don't.
shit.
But if there's nothing there, then
Go
what
find
does anybody get out of it?
What did you steal in ESS if there was nobody there? First off, and
Well,
B,
there's
I've
tons
seen-
of stuff in the ESSs, whether there's people there or not. Like MO has like 9 billion in the main ESS bank or whatever, and there's nobody on in AU time zone. Like, surprise.
yeah, but then you're going to hack, and your timers can cool down almost at the same time.
Well, yeah, that's the idea, but they don't now, is what I'm saying.
And that's okay. A little extra time won't kill you, I promise.
It might, though.
No, you just go hide and cloak up somewhere for 10 minutes.
Why would I do that? Like, I don't.
You clearly don't want to go looking for a fight after you've stolen the money, so.
Of course I do. Almost
then
every.
Then why does it matter if you have to spend an extra 15 minutes gating around in a system?
Because if there's nobody there to come and fight me,
then it won't start your aggro timer, right? So therefore you won't get an additional 15 on top of it. But
correct,
if there is an aggro,
but I'll have that extra
you,
15 minutes already. Which I think is a stupid mechanic in and of itself, having that 15-minute timer to begin with. But then I'll have another one if I want to go and engage with an ESS. But, oh, wait, how do people know that you're engaging with an ESS? Or how do people know that you're around? Ah, that's right, they get a notification that you've engaged the ESS. So what am I going to do?
In the region.
Do you want me to go sit there, just in the ESS and wait, and see if someone shows up, and then not engage with it at all, and just sit there for 15 minutes and wait for my timer to wear off? Or gate around empty nullsec space, because that's what nullsec is now, is empty?
Ah, but if you're getting around, then it's not empty anymore.
That is true, but it's still empty if it's just me. Like, if it's me...
Are you nothing? I think you have more value than that, Red Light.
I don't think so. And no one cares about Project Discovery. Like, why would somebody actively engage in Project Discovery?
Maybe you want a Marshall blueprint.
Maybe I'll just buy a fucking Marshall if I want a Marshall.
Okay, Mr. Rich Guy.
I am extremely rich. And yes, I'm absolutely dying on this hill. Because this is not a change that is conducive to the direction that CCP seems to want to take the game in.
It's to keep people from just like coming in and 100 MN stabbers, grabbing shit and leaving in that 15-minute timer, and not having a fight and not providing any content for anybody.
No, I know what it's for. I know what it's for, but all I'm asking is, why is this the suggestion that gets picked up out of any other suggestion? Honestly.
I mean, I could see that it's got a good and a bad side to it, but like the thing that's annoying to me is how few times those actually yield fights. Like, I guess it really depends what you're in, but it seems like it's either oversized prop mod cruiser gang that just runs the second you show up with even equal numbers, or it's like, I don't know, fucking
Marauders online.
Well, yeah, you can do the Marauder thing, or you can show up with like 200 ham caracals, and then nobody fights that either. So
yeah, when we were running them recently, we did like random cruisers, not even 100 MNs, just like 10 MN thoraxes, stupid shit like that. No, not even MN, not even AB, like MWD thoraxes, hull tanked with blasters. We would go in, ping the SS, set it 0, wait for somebody to warp, and that's what we would do. We would filament to a different region. And every 15 minutes, if we didn't die in that time frame, we would go to a different place. And we were able to do that because we didn't have to sit there and wait and wait and wait and wait and hope and pray that someone would come and kill us. And now, if we want to go do that, we literally just have to sit there or gate around. You know, if we wanted to gate around, aimlessly traveling space, we wouldn't be doing ESS rooms. Like, that's what they're for, is to literally bring content to you. Like, you go get it, you ring the bell, people come to the door and open it to content. Right? This is a red line. This is a red line. And I'm dying on this hill. I will literally die on this hill.
I understand the idea behind the ESS changes, and while some of the positives are pretty good, I've had the feeling since the beginning that the downsides to it make it more negative than positive.
I mean, I'd honestly have to see what other suggestions were made before this one was chosen to know if there were any better ones that were even considered. Because, I mean, honestly, it just seems like this was the easy way out, again, of, doing anything that took any amount of effort. And it's bullshit. It's stupid. And I hate the fact that that is how things are developed. It's just what's easiest to do.
Having a nice fight in Pochvin at the moment.
Are you? I thought there weren't any fights in Pochvin. What?
No, we're fighting a Goon Astra in Hull.
An Astra?
Like, Zico, man. It's been a pretty good fight. And NSH is here too. Yeah, they are.
The Goons are going to feed their entire Eagle fleet while their tornadoes just snack on random targets all around.
Their tornadoes tried for so fucking long to shoot my saber because I just kept warping near them, and I'm set red, so I was just like, cool, let's just keep distracting them from the mutants.
Wait, I thought we weren't evicting people from Pochvin.
So the story on this one is there's this one idiot named Zenuria who
that explains.
Continuously keeps shooting P-Horde structures, apparently, despite being told, like, we're not trying to kill structures. And so Horde decided to slap back, and they hit one of their Astras, and this is the final timer over it. Like, all Zenuria had to do was stop shooting stuff, and this probably wouldn't have happened, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah, but that would be Zenuria.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just scenario things. But no, so someone, Jesus, if you ping an ASS, you have to shoot something or get shot within 15 minutes, otherwise your ship dies. That would be so goofy. And I can still fill them in around if you're actually looking for content and just not for running away when stealing ESSs. Okay, I get that, and I could. But if I wanted to just roam around for content, then why wouldn't I just do that from the beginning, right? If I wanted to go and gate around and do random jumps and random systems, why wouldn't I just do that?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways to get PvP. Like, I guess if a CCP is trying to fix somewhat of an exploit, I get it. But I think the issue would still lie with they need to get people in space. Like that crab beacon's a good start, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done to PvE where you don't have to roam forever to find a fight.
I mean,
Possibly
ESS
they
is
just need to remove some regions, make the game a little smaller.
the drone lanes. Remove the drone lanes, right, Lady Scarlet? Get rid of them. You don't need them anyways.
Hasn't that just always been the case that you kind of have to spend a bunch of effort to try and get good fights?
Oh, fuck, it's coming.
Like, I vaguely remember that being the case just generally all the time for like the last decade.
Well, see, I don't remember the last decade because I've only been playing since 2018, but I do remember that I was all for the ESSs because I thought that they were really engaging, like, mechanics, and it was something where you could just go, and, if you went to go get a fight, then you got a fight, or you tried to get a fight, rather, and if you didn't, then, tough shit, you fill them out to another region, hopefully you get a fight there. But now,
as with many things that CCP has done, that ESS was a pretty good idea in concept, and then just kind of failed pretty badly in like the on-the-ground execution of it.
The thing that would be interesting with ESS is now that how long it's been out is if CCP would change the number of sites in LoSec that spawn the keys. Because I've been trying to do it where we take the Alliance and go raid them for fights. Or if you're Horde, we try to gank you with Marauders. Since some people did that to us, we tried it out, and it's pretty fun. But, I mean, at this point, we've seen that the main banks aren't exactly getting dumped at a rapid rate, and I think that would be tied to those keys they're not hard to get, just nobody's running them.
The sites aren't terribly common though. Like it's hard to find them sometimes.
Yeah, like we run the ones that give us the goon keys, which aren't terribly useful because I don't want to deal with like 250 Baltecs. I'm not CCP going to show up with 25 Marauders, but like I think they should spawn more, and maybe you'd see some more of those main banks get dumped, or people just get fights over them. I don't know. Call me crazy, but it doesn't seem like it hurts anything to give people access to those at a slightly more valid or slightly like greater frequency than it is now.
I think the reason they restricted the availability of the keys is because they didn't want all of the reserve vaults to just be emptied, right? But clearly that they're not being emptied at any kind of relevant rate, I don't think.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like it seems like they just kind of sat, like they've leveled out. But when it costs you, like right now, I think the going rate for a 45-minute key is 3.2 bill or so, and you get 3.3 bill out of it. Like it's not a worthy investment. So if you pump those numbers up, make it where the keys are like a bill or 2 bill because of wider availability, I think you'd see them used a lot more fights maybe.
I'm not sure they would reach that price because, the reason they're at that price is because people are just emptying their own ESSs, right? That's why they're kind of at that price point.
You say that, but I've tried selling them to goons cheap because we get the goon keys and nobody wants them. They said we just don't run our own sites. Like I've got a 45-minute key and 2 15 minutes, and I literally can't find anybody that will buy them for cheap.
For what regions?
Goon space.
I'll
Delve,
buy 'em.
Aquarius, Mountain.
You should hit up Dark Chance. I'm sure he'll buy them.
Tell me how much you want for him, dude. I'll buy him right now.
Whatever half price of GD is, I'll give him to you, Redline.
Boom. There it is. I'm coming, goons. I'm coming to steal your banks. Just me and my closest friends.
You have friends?
Yes.
Sounds like we're back to 3 fleets a week.
No. No, we're not.
Not until he gets his 10 bill. Well, how much are you asking at the moment, Redline, for your
10
services?
10 bill, FC. 10 bill.
Redline, you should go and speak to Capri-Sun Craft Foods and ask him how much he was getting paid to FC for test, like, many years ago.
No,
Test
I don't want to do
pay
that.
their FCs.
I feel like they have to pay their FCs, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, I forget what the point is, guys.
Speaking of having friends, though, have we done the shout out for the Eve London event / meetup that is happening in like a few days' time?
No, we have not done a shout out for that. Do we want to do a shout out for that, or is that where we're at? All right, so shout it out. I know nothing about it.
I don't really know much about it either. So if you are a person who is going to be around in the near vicinity of London in the UK on Saturday, the 6th of November, which is in a few days' time, it's this coming Saturday, there is an Eve London meetup, which is going to be hopefully fun, and there's some details around about that somewhere. Just drop some info like in the Twitch chat or in the Discord if you need some info about it, and I'll hook you up.
Yeah, if I lived in England, I would definitely be going.
Like basically, there's like a bar which is called the Oyster Shed. That's the venue that it's going to be at, so you can pretty much just turn up on Saturday if you want to go.
I have an important question. Has Vince Draken finished single-handedly reopening Europe that he can attend, Eve London?
I mean, I don't know the man very well, but I would not surmise that would be the kind of event that he would, attend.
I just couldn't resist the joke.
It was a good joke. It landed with 5 or 6 people.
The reason I'm going
sure.
is because there's supposedly beer there.
Well, it's a bar. Of course there's beer there.
Oh no, mate! We got the pub with no beer in Australia.
Why?
That sounds horrible.
Who would go to a pub with no beer?
It's called a pub with no beer. It didn't say it didn't have any beer.
Well, you just said it didn't have a beer.
I said we had the pub called No Beer down here.
Maybe we should save this for the Australian show that no one watches.
Hey,
Go fuck
people watch
yourself.
that show. Plenty of people watch Serious Slander Saturdays. Just like plenty of people watch Trash Talk Thursday.
What?
Trash Talk Thursday.
Isn't that show on INN?
No.
No.
Well, no, I think that's called the Meta Show.
That's
What?
just trash. That's not trash talk.
Yeah, the Trash Show, the Meta Show.
Did I miss all the good parts of the show tonight?
Of this show?
No.
No, there haven't really been many good parts. We're just talking.
You had a nice conversation about Poshvin and stuff.
Did we?
Dawn or Rain,
What?
do you know anything about, I want to say it's Darius's stream, so we could mention that.
No.
Who?
Darius Caliente?
Yeah, I think it's Darius. I want to
Yeah.
say he just resubbed. He's going to do a stream, but if anybody knows the details, put it in chat. The dude's a really
Yeah.
good guy. Hopefully he gets a lot of viewers.
I saw he made
Are we
that
just
announcement.
promoting random streamers or
I think he's doing a charity stream, right?
oh, a charity
Yeah,
stream?
he was the Conifers guy, and now he's in Rote. And
Yeah, he was the leader, but then when he was busy with real life, the Converse Alliance folded into Rote.
Oh.
I don't know
what
the
happened,
details on it.
Colin.
If anybody has it, link it. I mean, the dude's a good guy. Hopefully he has a lot of success.
Yeah, he was really busy with real life last year, and now, like, I think his announcement said he's now less busy and has time to play Eve again. So last year in his charity stream, which was the only thing he had done in a while, he sacrificed an Erebus for the stream.
Oh, I wonder what he's going to sacrifice this year.
Yeah, what's his
Hey,
charity?
if you want some good viewers, dude, let's see that Parchment Titan come out.
Probably what those people are going to sacrifice this year is, some portion of their dignity, I'd imagine.
We sacrifice that daily, though, honestly, being EVE Online players, you know? That's just kind of
Sadly true.
par for the course at this point.
But yeah, so we just had a good fight in Parchment. I sent you the battle report. We just shit all over Goons. That was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I know. I know you sent me the battle report. But
Got a dank bubble at the end and caught their fleet. Died in the process, but we got a few more eagles, so fucking
it's a sub 6 bill BR, so like
how is it sub 6 bill?
Like almost 60. Redline, learn to read.
oh, I'm sorry. That says 51, not 5.1. My bad. Let me post the BR. Yikes.
I think you've been desensitized to this.
To what?
You haven't seen so long, you don't know how to read a battle report anymore.
I think you've been desensitized to these battle reports and the scale of them due to the war that happened, recently.
Dude, you're probably right, if I'm being honest with you. So annoying.
Well, like every fight was over 100 bill, so, we're getting back to the period where 100 bill fights, so like, oh wow, it was a big fight.
To be fair, like 30, 40 bill fights are normally pretty decent size.
So this was... Oh my god, you blobbed them? You blobbed them. 330 to 307. You fucking blobbers.
Blobbers,
oh,
dude.
Wow. Fuck, man.
Unacceptable.
Wait for the Pappy comment. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god, it's all the Pappy alliances. All on the same side of a battle report. In 2021, who knew? Hey Shaq, see you later, dude. I hope you have a good night. I hope nobody shits in your Cheerios in the morning. Because I'm going to. Sorry, that was toxic.
Dude, you're just living rent free.
It is Trash Talk Tuesday.
It is Trash Talk Tuesday. Kind of. I don't know. Is it though?
Mods are asleep, Pappy in cesspool.
Where is Shadowhammer? He was pretty good at facilitating some good trash talking last week.
I mean, do we really just... Is it all we can do is talk about Brave?
If I was to guess where he is, I'd say probably Canada.
I mean, honestly, like, the whole thing with Brave is, like, one of the very few things that's actually going on at the moment. There's not really that much else going on. There's,
Dread Bottom are dying.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing with, like, Wrecking Crew / Dread Bomb and Fire, like, that's kind of simmering down now, it appears. Like, it seems to be settling down.
Oh, Skyhawk, do you have anything to say about that?
Doesn't seem to be too much else going on, really.
I mean, we're letting them get established and down in Amencia, but it's not over. We're gonna have our fun spell.
Yeah, not forming to defend your iHub initial reinforce or the, actual getting it destroyed in your staging system, forming up, standing down. Yeah, letting us take it.
I mean, like our staging system was not that system. We moved back a while ago. So
Wasn't your staging system T2 TAC something?
at one point, that was one of the staging systems being used.
I feel like we have some deflecting going on here. No,
I mean that's exactly like just the truth of what was going on.
Where have I heard this before? Oh yeah, floodplains. We don't care. It's floodplains.
No.
I mean, I could say that at one point a staging that we were using was T5C. We're not using that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this is from a outside perspective because I only did a little bit over there with Stridbomb, but from what I saw, XIX and all their friends pretty well fucking shit down your throats, and your deployment was kind of failed, and that's why you guys went back.
I'll say this:
basically as failed as NSH's deployment to low spec on the other side of you.
We genuinely want neighbors though that do build up to a point where we can actually have like healthy PvP on our borders long term, because that's something we have been severely lacking since Pravi Block just up and left. Like we want.
I can't imagine why Pravi left.
I mean, we sat on their faces a little too long.
You and NC and everyone else that got bat phoned, the usual.
Well, I mean, that would generally start by them trying to bat phone, test, and legacy, and everyone that they could get. So then, of course, in that situation, you just end up with escalating bat phone.
Like, we all know how this works, right? One person throws a bat phone out, someone sees it, the next person throws a bat phone out, and then, before you know it, like, fucking everyone's there.
Yeah.
It's pretty normal, right? Like, you can't really shame people for doing that. It's just the way of the game.
You can.
Basically.
You can shame people for doing that.
Like, I feel very confident in saying that we were not the ones in the fight against Pravi pulling that bat phone or pushing that bat phone button first.
It was Pravi, though. Let's remember that.
They kind of needed a bat phone more than other people.
The thing is, if their bat phone that they call ends up bringing 150, 200 guys, like, we needed an extra bat phone ourselves, and then, like,
right,
it's how it started, though.
You can't really complain. If you go to the playground and start kicking a 12-year-old, they're going to, like, get their mum to, like, come and tell you off. Like, you can't complain about that, right? You have to understand that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out, like, how it actually happened.
Yeah, I was in fleet with you in Waffles during the last part of the Pravi War, so I'm definitely complicit here. But I definitely would have preferred to see some of the pressure let up so they didn't collapse, because they were fun to shoot when they were down there.
Like, put it this way, they got invaded by, was it goons who wiped all of their infrastructure completely out, and then they left and they were able to rebuild. So you guys are literally worse than goons and wiped out one of the interesting-ish regions of 0-0.
Pravi was always going to collapse under, like the required amount of pressure to make it happen, because they were completely, or mostly incompetent, right? It's really just a case of who did it and whether it was intentional or by accident.
Yeah. I thought kind of the biggest turning point was when TRC became a big deal in RC, because that was when RC started to have larger subcap numbers in addition to larger cap numbers.
What?
In the collapse of Pravi, I think the biggest point was when one alliance, the Rote Consortium, became a major deal in Wrecking Crew, because before then, Pravi typically had larger subcapital numbers, but then after this point, that stopped being the case.
Don't you mean the Reject Coalition?
Yeah, they're kind of not what they used to be a year and a half ago, and they're kind of in a sad state now.
Ever since I've been in Pravi, they've been fucking, well, when I was in Pravi, and since I've left Pravi, they were always fucking worthless. So, and honestly, it was funny because when Boom was in Pravi Block, every Pravi Block alliance looked like it was on its last legs. And honestly, it was. I kind of wonder some days if us deploying down to Shu breathed new life into RC, where if we had just let them fester, they would have died.
You know, it's been quite interesting, like watching over the last, like, I don't know, like probably 3 months or so, sort of seeing RC kind of becoming a lot bigger, a lot more kind of capable of doing, that nullsec block thing, finding some new allies and stuff like that. There was definitely a threat for a while. Well, maybe not a threat, but like it kind of looked like for a while that they might sort of become a real kind of nullsec block, right? And kind of like fill the power vacuum that's kind of left by Legacy leaving the Southeast. And then they just kind of didn't. Like, I don't really know what's going on there, but there was certainly some potential they were going to become like a bigger deal, and then they just have kind of settled into not really doing too much from what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I've seen. Like I'm not like the most knowledgeable person on that.
I mean, I don't really think you're wrong. It just seems to me as though, so RC, RC, they fucked up, man. It seemed to me like RC just wanted to kill everything that was around them in general, and that's just kind of their, like, what they do. They want content so bad, but they don't know when to chill. Just like if you'd have chilled
we
for
offer
30 seconds.
CVA and Proviblock were given multiple opportunities to like actually come to an arrangement with us, or they weren't interested in it. That was no, fuck off from our region. We want all of it. No, you can't have the slice that you've held on to for 2 to 3 years.
Yes, you have
Like,
to expect that CVA is not going to make great decisions.
Yeah,
I feel like you're looking a bit too far in the future. Sorry, a bit too far in the past from like what we're talking about right now.
I mean, the thing that I don't get though is like, why did you think that that was something that you should have had the authority to do? I guess, like you invaded, and they said, "Oh, well, we don't want to just let you invade, so we're not going to just let you invade."
So you have to go pretty far back into like history at this point to go to the start of that conflict. We actually took space in Proviblock originally. TRC, my alliance, was actually the first alliance to really take space in there.
Yeah, no, I was there.
And it was when PL had taken the region, CVA had completely fucked off, and then when Legacy came back in to flip everything back so that they could get the structures, that was when we took a constellation. When CVA was completely fucked off from the region.
That wasn't that long ago. That was like, what, 2017? Something like that? Maybe 2018?
Yeah, 4 years. About 4 years at this point, yeah.
So, what was the benefit of taking so much more space that, like, though?
To rent it. They were renting it.
Ew. Gross.
I mean,
No, they were.
Especially the old Care Factor space and that stuff. Why not just
we took Care Factor space after we disbanded Care Factor.
Yeah.
And the reason for that honestly goes back to really old beef. Disbanding Care Factor was one of my personal goals because TRC originally started out of a group that was in Care Factor at one point, and we got fed up with leadership with them as well as Proviblock and made a new alliance. And they were just super toxic and super shitty about things on our way out, and it turned into a bit of a holy crusade for some of us.
Yeah, but what was the benefit of just taking the space after disbanding the alliance?
Oh, I mean, that was just
renting,
to be a thorn
obviously.
in the side of Proviblock. I mean, in EQ's meeting when he told everyone that the alliance was leaving, and that NRDS was dead, he said the disbanding of Care Factor was one of the reasons they chose to leave.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's working out entirely as well as it could have, because CVA leaving seems to have made the region less interesting.
I would agree, although I would also say that Pravi as a region hasn't been super interesting since pre that PL invasion, because the population never rebounded in Proviblock after that.
Oh yeah, You're probably right. I wasn't playing during that time, though.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point in time where you could go into so many systems there, and there'd be 30 to 50 people in it. You could go in and just roam around the region really easily and have a lot of fun.
And now what can you do in Pravi?
Crab.
You can be in an RC Alliance and crap.
Is it fair to say then that PL killed Provi?
They primed them
Yeah.
good and ready for us.
I think Pravi did more to kill Pravi than anyone else, though.
You either go with the narrative that PL killed Pravi or that Pravi beat PL. You gotta pick one.
I think it's patently obvious if anyone's got more than 2 brain cells to rub together for warmth at night that Pravi was never going to beat PL.
PL killed Pravi, and then Legacy came along and propped the corpse up and made it look like they were kind of sort of alive, and then we just cut that to pieces.
And in the final part, I do think Pravi did more to kill themselves than anyone else.
I'm trying to create drama here, and you guys have been way too reasonable. Can you just please stop that?
I'm sorry, it's in my nature.
I don't know what you want from us, Carmen. Honestly. What do you want me to say? I'll say whatever you want. I think RC's dog shit. Is that drama?
I think you need to move this show, right? This is not Trash Talk Tuesday from what I've seen.
It's
This is
Tuesday.
more this is like mediocre moderation Monday more than anything else.
Redline, why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
You should say brave in the cesspool and see what happens.
Speaking of brave, where are they tonight?
Probably in Pureblind.
The dumpster.
Stop swiping left on Carmen. I can't. He's so cute. Don't you know?
Alright, Feedline, I gotta go. It was fun. Obligatory test is next, since that's what Reddit tells me we're doing.
I mean, yeah, the invasion starts soon.
Hold up, what invasion?
I'm also going to jump off, guys. Thanks for the invite.
Alright, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, that's the end of the NSH detachment. Night, nerds.
Now what do we do? Now what do we talk about? All the drama's gone.
I was really excited.
Lions
Someone said
tournament
something about
this weekend?
invasion.
The invasion of Test?
I don't know what they were talking about.
Well, it's coming. That's all you really need to know.
Well, my girlfriend tells me.
What?
That's very exciting.
Not at all. There's nothing exciting happening, guys. I'm sorry, I really
Lions
got...
tournament this weekend. Shut up, Redline.
Is it this weekend? Tell us about it. What's happening this weekend, Rain?
Dude, I don't even know. I have all the details. So the analyst and production crew are flying out to Iceland, so they're going to be there helping CCP put on the show. Tune in Saturday. It's super early. I want to say sometime 1600. Actually, I feel like that's pretty accurate. It's probably 1600 or 1400, somewhere really early. And we're going to have the preliminary rounds. I think day 1 is all just the starter round, so I think we get to see all the teams play once, but nobody gets eliminated. Day 2, I think we start looking at the losers bracket where teams will be eliminated, so if they lose twice, then they're out. And then the following weekend, it's not this weekend, will be the finals and whatnot, so that'll be the last weekend. But this weekend, if you have a team or some friends that are participating, you'll 100% get to see them fly, get to see them participate. Should be lots of fun. CCP has said something about gambling channel points. So if you're one of those gambling types, you can log onto their Twitch page and do predictions. And I believe you can use the points to redeem skins. Those are those Galnet skins, which are pink and you can't get any other way. You can see all the commentators. We've told them all to dress super cute, and they're pretty cute dudes, so you can go look at them. Hint, hint, Dawn.
What?
Watch the AT. I was just making a joke, sorry.
Only if someone's hot on there.
Dude, they're all hot.
Everybody's hot. At the end of the day, really.
Never seen Eve dudes so thirsty for other Eve dudes than in the Lions tournament broadcast, honestly.
What do you mean?
You have no idea. But yeah, it'll be fun. It's a good way to see sort of CCP putting support back into the community and sort of how something that doesn't seem like a big deal can have a huge impact in the game. The prize ships look pretty fancy, at least like the skins do. They haven't come out with stats yet.
What do you think of the prize ships that they announced?
Dude, I'm excited as fuck.
Like, there's a Garmer and an Orthrus, basically, right?
Yeah,
Only
so
like the Garmer's like on crack.
Yeah, Garmer's like an electronic attack frigate. So you think normal Garmer plus Ewar, and then the Orthrus is like a Hick. It's super strong. So think of a normal Hick, and then think Zoomy.
The Orthrus is a Hick.
Jesus fucking Christ.
The Orthrus is a Hick. So the ships are pretty cool. If you DM me the link for the schedule, I'll post it in the Twitch chat, by the way. There's no links allowed because of obvious trolls. Sorry. Maybe Rain can do it.
Rilo is like turning in his grave, like fucking getting riled up for like, you know, the new episode of his freaking YouTube thing.
What are you talking about?
I forget the name of it. What's it called? The Ezekiel Guide to?
Oh, Rylode.
Yeah, one time he's gonna do a Ezekiel guide to one of these ships, and it's gonna be just like ridiculous.
Yeah. The other new exciting thing is, so in the past there's only been 50 prize ships. This time around it's 140. So for those who have been like wanting a prize ship but not able to get one because they're stuck in some dude's like AFK hangar, now's a better opportunity. So I think don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it's top 16 teams get prize ships. So like that's
correct.
Yeah, and so that's like a really nice way for CCP to sort of disseminate, prizes amongst the players. Obviously, I don't think they showed any pictures of it, but there's going to be skins. In the past, it's always been 10 skins per win. So I'm assuming it's going to follow that same method, but that's another way for players who invest but aren't able to get those top spots to kind of recoup their losses.
So if it was the top 16 teams now that get, some variation of the AT ships, like what was it in the past?
Top 4. It used to be top 2, then they made it top 4. So AT16, it was top 4.
I bet they're going to be still like mad expensive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They are.
Especially if the stats are strong. And the really interesting now, somebody pointed out, like, so in the past, CCP has like never really balanced the Alliance tournament ships. So like even when the hack changes came, CCP has never really changed the stats besides, okay, now they can have an ADC or whatever. The interesting thing now is that since in this tournament they're not allowed, and some folks are predicting that they're not going to be in future tournaments, that then CCP can buff the stats, because instead of balancing them around, okay, potential tournament play, you can just say these are supposed to be expensive, they're supposed to be strong, let's just make them super broken and throw them on TQ so people use them.
Weren't they already super broken in a lot of ways?
Sorta. I mean, right now the Murmur and the Freki, so the Mimitar AT ships, are weaker than their T2 counterparts. So you are better off flying a Jaguar than you are a fucking Freki or whatever. I'm trying to think of what the other ship is. It's Jaguar. I want to say Panther, but that's the battleship.
Wolf?
A Wolf, yeah. So you're better flying off those ships 1v1 against a Freki, because a Freki's that garbage.
How much of that is because they've never been subject to balance passes and never will be?
Yeah, a lot of that's all because of it. And I mean, you used to have like some of the ships, so like the Raven State issue used to be the strongest battleship, but now the Lashat came out, and so it's kind of worthless.
Let's be honest, right? It feels like half the stuff in the game's never been subjected to a balance pass. I know that's not true, but it feels like it sometimes.
Ho!
Yeah.
Listen to some spice.
Some spice.
I'm trying here. I'm trying.
I'm sorry, dude. You're gonna have to try a little bit harder. Just a little bit. You gotta spice it up.
You're gonna have to start paying me if I have to keep carrying the show every week, man.
I can't do that. I can barely pay myself now. I got bills to pay, mouths to feed, you know?
I don't know if you guys and girls have seen this, but quite recently there was a couple of threads on Reddit about how hacks are like overpowered and how they should be changed. Don't know if you have any opinions on that, if you've read that.
I don't really care for Reddit, but that's something that's been stated for the past 3 years, so I'm not really sure why it'd be brought up now.
It was a topical conversation that happened on Reddit with a lot of comments on it, so I thought I'd mention it. But if you don't want to converse on it, that's totally fine.
Hacks are ridiculous. They kind of fit this, like they fit the every role that you need. They're not particularly great in a lot of them, but they're good enough. But the thing that you need, the biggest thing is that they can get out. If you want to disengage, you can disengage.
That's the whole point. Everyone uses them, to be blunt. I think people overstate a little bit like how good they are at everything. Like they're certainly, depending on what ship it is, they're very good at some things, kind of okay at other things. But yeah, certainly not quite as like universally great at everything as people make out.
Yeah, I don't think the range issue is as bad as some people make it out to
Definitely
be.
prices. Redline, can you drag Bob in, please?
Yeah, sure. I can do that.
Yeah, if I really wanted to nerf hacks, I would make it so that the Munin isn't as cap stable with its micro warp drive running as it is now.
Where the fuck were you, Bob?
What are you talking about?
He's
We had
been in
Pittsburgh
the
and
eye
all
of a
them.
hurricane.
Your broskies were here earlier.
I'm with them now.
I'm glad that you've joined us, Bob.
We had a nice conversation about Pochvin.
Yes, a great Pochvin conversation.
I missed that. I would like to see more of Pochvin, but it seems like it's quite like difficult to get into, like that whole kind of area of content.
I mean, Pochvin's like the Wild West, dude. Like everywhere else in the game fucking sucks, right? You got everybody drops supers on you, or they drop a shit ton of fucking whatever, flash form their bullshit Feroxes, but you have to log off in Pochvin to be there, or Filament in and maybe land close, right? That's what, dude. It's basically the Wild West. I mean, it's like 1885 Dodge City. I mean, it's the dream, dude. It's kind of like Eve was 10 years ago, is how I see it.
Are they still using like remote rep battleships up there?
People do that. People bring Logi alts, but there's just battleship fights all the fucking time because, well, there's
What
nobody
else are you gonna
dropping
do?
20 supers on you. Yeah, there's nobody dropping 20 Holodrads on you.
I heard a rumor that remote rep battleships are a thing that's coming back. Don't know if you care to comment on that. No.
I mean, they're
What's coming
niche.
back?
Some people do well with them. There's a group, I don't know their name, but they like whooped our ass a few days ago with them, or a week ago or something. With a remote, they had a remote rep set up. Basically, they had less battleships than us. We just got clapped. It was pretty sad. I was not in that fight, but witnessed the aftermath and the psychological effects on my team.
That was actually one of the that was actually the first fleet that I ever FC'd back in Yonder Day when I also still didn't know anything about FCing. Was when I was living in Syndicate in like, I don't know, 2008 or some shit. And my very first fleet I ever FC'd was a remote rep battleship fleet, and we got about 3 gates out staging and had a whole bunch of super carriers dropped on us and fed everything.
I mean, dude, yeah, but like it's different. It's fun shit. Like we just attended a fucking hack fight in Pochvin. I was in Pochvin, so it was a little cooler. But we were in Serbs, but Horde was in Munins, and Goons for an Eagles. Big surprise.
I would just love to see like more options that aren't hacks. I understand
Well,
why they are and why other things are not viable, but like I would just like to see that not be the case.
Like we did TFS, we have a bunch of fucking fleets, dude. A bunch of fleet comps.
TFS
NSH has like fucking 9 comps, not to mention everybody's handout shit. So, but you also gotta branch out, not just stay hold up in your nullsec region eternally. Granted, tested that last year. Didn't work out too well, but
Oof.
Normally how it goes, right? If you're making content in the game, normally doesn't go too well.
Yeah.
Like many of the game mechanics in the game just kind of like heavily favor the defender in a way that they didn't used to, but we don't necessarily need to get into that now.
How's Test doing, by the way? How come y'all sob timers at EU? Why don't you bump them up to USTZ, dude?
Because like most of our people are in EU, is why. So
yeah, but you give Jeremy some more practice.
He's running more fleets than I am, man. I'm on fucking holiday. It's going right.
No, dude. Put him on. Set the sob timers to USTZ, and we'll give him practice. It'll be fun.
I don't even know what to say to that, man. Like,
aren't you like high command, Carmen? Aren't you like up there in the team?
For my sons, yes, I am now.
Are you actually in charge of Test? Who's in charge of Test now?
I don't fucking know, man. I'm not sure anyone knows. I think he thinks he's in charge, but it's not really how it works.
I thought Jeremy was in charge of Test.
And Sandrin are, and then there was one other person.
So who's Sandrin's in charge?
Yeah,
He's
Jeremy
part
Endadar
of
is
it.
the
They're
new
all
executive.
F6. What are you guys talking about?
What about Manny? Are you all letting Manny still fucking like dumpster dive your alliance? That I mean, after the last 20 iterations of
Are you joking?
Mannyisms?
Like, Manny has basically been AFK and completely inactive from the game for about a year.
Nah, dude, the Del 4 was his idea,
He
bro.
fully threw the towel in after he got swatted twice in the space of a month. You know, and not going to point your fingers, but like, you know, I'm sure the guy doesn't have a lot of enemies outside of playing Eve. But yeah, he's been like, you know, gone for quite a long time.
I'm glad he's in test, dude.
I mean, I'm not sure he even cares where he is. You know, he doesn't even play the game anymore.
Yeah, well, of course, I guess I'm not in PanFam anymore. Manny lost a lot of wars for PanFam. Even after leaving PanFam, he continued to lose wars for PanFam. It's really impressive, honestly.
He's certainly a person who's got a lot of ideas, you know, and some of them are pretty out there, but
defeat follows him like a shadow. And it's always twilight, so it's a big fucking shadow, you know. It's a long ass shadow all the way to the horizon.
Can't argue with the facts on that one, but the little that I've spoken to Manny, he's a pretty astute person. He's got some pretty interesting like takes on some stuff in the game. He's obviously very knowledgeable.
When you white knight people, do you use a ceremonial sword or an actual combat sword? What do you prefer, Carmen?
I'm just the guy's not here to defend himself, right? Like genuinely, like I've spoken to him a little bit. Like I think he's got some value. Like he's not a complete wipeout, but you know I've not really interacted with him that much to like really have a strong opinion on it. Like you know one way or the other. I know you probably did when you were in PanFam, and you know you probably got more in-depth opinion than me. But you know since I've been around in test, he's not really been around at all. Pretty much is a pretty fair assessment.
Gross, encompassing, first-hand witness and experience disappointment manifest in Manfred Sidious. Yes.
Manifest, you mean?
Wasn't he the one who was supposed to be in charge of that Pappy-wide suicide ganking group?
Dude, Manny pretty much ran everything. I don't know if you know this, but you know, Manfred Sidious was like, I mean, he's been running the show for the last 12 years, as far as I can tell.
Oh, is he Sir Mole alt?
Bob Fred mad shit today is great. Glad you turned up.
Because I heard Manfred Sidious was an alt of Sir Mole, who's actually an alt of the Mittani.
Oh, I know. Went on a failed campaign with Manny 3 times, and after the second one, I was determined this guy has to be rolled out. And then he left, went to Test, and blessed us. Mid-campaign against Test, dude. It was honestly a win-win. Like,
I'll be honest, right? Like the whole time that Manny's been in Test, to my knowledge, he's really been like a background character. Like he hasn't really done like too much kind of important stuff. He's just been one of those people who's kind of around and like, you know, he has like some interesting nuggets of info to share sometimes and like an interesting take on things, but he's more of like an advisor, I would say, really, than anything else. Like he's never really even been active like FCing fleets or anything like that. He's just one of them people who's around and he's, you know, got a lot of experience and knowledge, so you can, you know, hit him up for some ideas about stuff. But you know, he's never been really in a position of
hey Manny, what would you do? And then don't fucking do it, and then you don't fail. I mean, I would recommend that.
Not really so much, you know. It's more like, you know, like when you're having a chat about something, like he'll be there and everyone throws their 2 cents in. He's got his 2 cents. Sometimes it's an interesting take, and then you kind of work it out from there.
Manny once attempted to defeat our entire carrier fleet to Horde and Black Legion, but myself and one guy, Fry, who's now in Snuff, averted the catastrophe. We intervened. What an intervention. You have any friends or family that are addicts, Carmen?
I mean, addicts to what? What do you mean by that?
Doesn't matter. Anybody, they're fucking addicted to something.
Yeah, I did have like one family member at one point who was like an addict.
Okay, well, Manny's addicted to fucking losing, and it's tough, dude. You know, because you're like, man, I don't want to hurt his feelings, but we're all gonna die if I don't intervene here.
It's a tough spot to be in because I kind of agree with you. but like I like Manny. Like he's got his shortcomings, and some of them are pretty fucking bad. Not gonna lie to you, but as an overall person, like I think he's, his soul's pointing in the right direction. His heart's in the right place. He just falls short in a lot of places quite often.
I'll be right back, dude. I'm gonna go get some fucking white doves from outside so I can fucking overnight them to you. You can release them next time you white knight somebody. You have some doves flying, dude, like you're at a wedding. Be fucking nice, dude.
Dude, I'm not even gonna fucking apologize for just being a nice person.
Do you guys
right?
have eagles in?
I spend so much time not being a nice person that sometimes I just gotta make up for it. Right?
Do y'all have eagles on the other side of the planet? Like we have eagles here, right, in America. But do y'all have eagles over there?
We definitely got like loads of eagles over here, but they're like can't really field them because we like don't get too many people in the fleet like enough to be able to.
Do you mean the bird or the ship, Bob?
No, that was the joke. He meant like actual real life.
Run the punchline, Gerg.
I got it. Don't worry.
I was picking up what you were putting down.
I appreciate you stirring the pot, Bob. I really do.
Carmen, do you come to any EVE events? Are you going to any EVE events? Do y'all have
yes.
Can y'all even go outside and fucking go ahead?
I am going to EVE London on Saturday, literally in 4 days' time.
Oh shit!
I hope you guys have as much fun as we did in Vegas.
Are y'all allowed to go outside over there? I guess it's not Australia, so yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we are allowed to go outside.
Rain, you on EVE London?
I'm not, no.
Dude, Carmen,
if I were going anywhere, I'd go into Iceland.
You know who knows how to party, dude? I'm gonna say it right now. Rain can party, dude. Was there in New Orleans? It's crazy.
I'm using a fake name when I go there, so I don't get any death threats.
Rain has joined the Soup Gang now.
Rain founded the Soup Gang.
Yep, Soup Gang.
I fucking love soup.
I was looking at the photos of my soup earlier today, and it made me really want more of that soup from Berries.
So go get some more soup, dog. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, is it $15 a bowl?
It needs to be as good as that shit was if I'm going to pay that price. I've actually been looking around here, and I haven't found any restaurant that like serves what looks to be like the same kind of like quality level as what that was.
Bob, you're a fun guy, dude. You're a massive troll, but that's why you're a fun guy. So if I ever meet you in real life, if I'm down in Texas or wherever you are, I'll buy you a beer.
Hell yeah, dude. Buy a few. I want to do a Texas meetup. I don't know, dude. Like nobody's been like, yeah, dude, let's fucking host it in Austin.
We're gonna do a Chicago one.
Yeah, but that's
yes.
If I lived in Texas, I'd go to a Texas meetup.
If I was in America, I'd go to a Texas meetup, man. There's some pretty swag places out there, I've heard.
You go to an EVE meetup in Texas, and they offer you fucking guns and fanny packs or some shit.
I was gonna say,
that sounds
wild
like
boar
fun.
hunting from a helicopter.
No, you just do it on 6th
Just
Street.
get a 50 cal and
Yeah, that would be fun.
I thought that was just everywhere in America. That's just how that works, right?
What, guns?
Yeah, just guns.
No, it's not everywhere. It's just Texas and schools. Sorry, that was...
Oh, snap. Who are you
Football.
Shots fired.
Wow.
Good lord, Redline.
I'm sorry about that.
Is it late? Is it past like the threshold to be making comments like that?
I don't know, man.
Too soon.
You gotta embrace the dark humor if you want to live in modern America.
I love dark humor.
Well, yeah, because dark humor is just like your fucking everyday reality, isn't it, really, in
Just
America?
gotta be careful with pops, though. You might get shot with dark humor.
Dark humor.
Yikes.
I heard that one.
Dark humor is like a child with cancer. It doesn't get old.
Stop it.
So I remember...
That was just a bad one.
Oh,
I remember like real close to the end of the war that happened. I was chatting some shit with Bob, and Bob was saying that me and him should never go on Trash Talk Tuesday together because he had like some shots to fire about that stuff. So I don't know what that is, but it seems like a good opportunity to spice things up there.
Nah, you don't want to hear that, dude.
Oh, let's do it, man.
I don't want to do that to you. You're gonna go see a bunch of EVE players in 4 days, dude. I'm not gonna humiliate you. Then you have to walk in with your fucking tail tucked between your legs like a sad little puppy.
Do it, Bob. Do it.
Yeah, the war is over. I'm trying to stop being as
Do it,
insulting
Matt.
to goons as now that the war is over.
You can't like throw comments out like that, Bob, and then not back it up. You know, you start to get a reputation if you do that too much.
I'd hate for a
Well-
reputation to be gathered.
I did like one thing on Reddit that I thought was funny. When do you think Q4 is going to start in November? Because apparently
Probably at
Q4 is
the,
supposed to start in November.
considering CCP's schedule with when the quarters start, probably on the 6th week of November or something.
Probably already
What?
started. They just, haven't told us because communications.
It's
difficult.
not.
Non-compressible Moongo.
It's not quarter. It's quadrant.
Whatever. Tomato, potato.
No, not really, because quarters have another representation, like the fiscal year separated into quarters. However, this is not. This is quadrants.
Yeah, but quadrant still
Unequal
indicates that there's
quad-
4 of them.
Sure, but that doesn't mean that they're 4 even parts.
Are you trying to imply, Redline, that CCP's patches and changes in some way do not line up to their, fiscal goals for the year for their company?
Yes.
I feel like that's possibly not true in some ways.
I mean, if you want to get into the fiscal aspect, though, since all of that stuff is public info now, fiscally, CCP is doing better than they've ever done before, at least as far as we have the data.
Last time they said that, they fired their entire community team except like 2
Dude,
people.
anybody
Yeah.
can cook the books. Yeah.
Do you have any
I
fucking
have.
idea how cheap it is to hire a community team? Like, they are like a laughable expense in the
They
context of
just
a big
keep
company.
paying less and
basically.
less, too.
They say that, and then you've seen some of the bad sides of not having a good community team.
Right,
At
but
least
for
the
real, right?
community
Like in
team
the
that can do
context
stuff.
in the context of a company that's like probably a couple of hundred people CCP, right? Like hiring 3 community managers is probably about the same salary as 1 engineer, like 1 programmer. Like it's not significant in any meaningful way.
Yeah, but
Have
you
you
want
noticed
to-
that one of those community people looks just like Elise Randolph?
Yeah, it's freaky.
It's really weird as well because at least like stops being super active when they hired that dude, and then that community person's like really good.
And
Yeah,
really
he's
active.
still active. He's been doing the event sites and everything.
Remember he died?
Oh
He's a
yeah,
fucking noob.
he
In
died.
a dreadnought. Only thing I've had this week exciting is someone tried to kill my Rorqual. It's pretty scary. That's about it.
Oh, Marshy's active again. Have
It
you
was
seen him
actually
yet?
No, he fucked off.
Didn't he
It
get
was
banned?
fraternity.
Is he unbanned now? I vaguely remember that guy got banned for like input broadcasting or something. I don't know if
No,
that's
he
like
never got banned for it.
No, but we wanted him to because he was.
Because you didn't want him to cloaky camp you anymore. I know, I get
No, it
it.
was the fact that he said the same thing on 40 accounts at once. So
Sure it was.
No, like someone had like a log of it. Like I'm sure, like in Test sent to CCP. Like it was like a real event that happened. Like the guy just, I don't know. From what I had heard, at least, typed the exact same chat message like on the exact same second in game on like 40 different accounts or something.
Yeah, they all use ASIC miners these days.
I fucking know, man. Whatever.
That was what he said.
CCP don't really seem to give too much of a shit about like really banning anyone really too much, apart from people who are
people who matter in game, like in like a meaningful way.
Yeah,
What?
like being the leader of an alliance in
Giga?
some fashion, right? I don't know. Like, they definitely ban a lot of accounts, right? But they're just like just meaningless, right? They just roll a new one, fucking run injectors into it. That's the reason injectors were so bad for the game. Well, there's many reasons why injectors were so bad for the game, but it enabled buying in like a massive, massive degree.
People would still bot it, just be a little bit slower.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't, right? Like the point, as I stated, was that it enabled it more.
All right. Well, I'm going to do my final thought because I'm being summoned somewhere else. So, my final thought is that CCP needs to get the Rorqual changes over with. We all know that they're just going to make them unfun. So let's just do it now. Rip that band-aid off, and we'll move forward.
Okay. I like that thought.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Hey, you
Dawn.
too.
Night, Dawn.
Night Dawn.
think I chatted about this a little bit on last week's show, but I would not be super happy to see raw calls like nerfed a huge amount, because like them being in space is, you know, an interesting content driver. I think having unlimited resources you can mine with them is a problem, you know. But, you know, just not having them in space anymore would kind of suck.
Yeah. Oh, like imagine if Hall Titans were a fucking thing, and there was incentives to use fucking Titans. Like,
yeah, I want to
more
see
Titans would die if more Titans were fielded, and there'd be more fights and more hype. I mean, it's fucking simple, dude.
I definitely agree that that's the biggest problem with how CCP has nerfed Upers and stuff. I want to see all that stuff in space so I can shoot it.
I think the problem with a lot of these comments is that it's quite a nuanced discussion, right? Like, there's a lot to it. You can't really just say like, oh yeah, like we should just make it so that you have more Supers and Titans in space.
Yeah, because, we should.
Like, that's like one part of a conversation that has like, you know, five or 10 associated things that are attached to it. That
there'd be more subbed accounts. Dude, how many unsubbed Titans are in test right now? Don't answer that. But it's a lot.
Not as fucking many as there was, you know, before the war, right? And then, you know, they all came back. But, you know, all of these ideas about, like, you know, balanced discussion.
Yeah, now they're unsubbed. They're just not Titan pilots anymore.
You kind of can't talk about any of it in isolation, because it's like such a connected ecosystem, I think.
What I really want to see is more objectives worth fighting over.
So what are you saying, Carmen? Like, you can't talk about it. Like, there's fucking crime. We don't stop fighting crime because there's always going to be criminals. There's always going to be balance issues, dude. I mean, fucking unleash Hall Titans on the universe. See how it goes. Fuck it, dude. If shit goes to shit, then, you know, make an adjustment. But you're going to have more Titans in space, which means you're going to have more Dreads killing Titans in space and more Titan loss spells. It'd be great, dude. Everybody wins. Especially Titan builders.
The basic problem, if I can like summarize it as smallly as I can, like capitals in the game in general are too much of an I win button, and they kind of have been for a very, very long time, right? Like, if they were just like a specific role that had like specific things they countered and specific things that countered them, then they would become, you know, in a much healthier place where you would want to use them more often, and, you know, you just get more meaningful and interesting fights out of them. Nowadays, Supers and Titans are basically like the I win hammer, and if both sides drop them, it's kind of like just all or nothing really on both sides.
No, you can still dread bomb Hall Titans with the resist changes, dude, and the fax changes.
Yeah, dude, I mean, with the industry changes though, it's, you know, not like a winning cost proposition anymore is the problem.
They're about to switch it back though, right? Some shit. So like,
well, we'll fucking see, man. I'll believe it when I see it.
Open the fucking floodgates, dude, and let Hall Titans out on New Eden.
I do not believe for a second that it'll be the same as what it was before, you know. And even then, you know, like fucking value proposition for like dread bombing Titans wasn't that great before. Like, you need fucking lot of dreads to make it work out, even like, you know, pretty worthwhile. At a certain point, like, Supers and Titans have enough of a critical mass that you just need like a fuck ton of dreads to make it worthwhile.
Dude, you give me 5 Titans to kill with my, let's say, like 40, 50 friends, dude. I spend every ISK I have on fucking dreads and hicks or whatever it takes to kill it. And we figure it out and get money afterwards. Because, like, fuck, you're killing Titans, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, like, you know, my
nobody fields them anymore.
Would be like, what kind of dribbling moron would only field 5 Titans at a time? And then I realized we're playing Eve, right? So someone will.
Hall Titans, dude. Bring them back. I'm telling you, dude. Bring them back.
I mean, the issue with that, though, wow, yeah. There's ways to talk around that for sure.
I mean, talk around it. Just fucking do it. I don't know what to talk about.
Well, I mean, the previous issue with Hall Titans is that, you know, you just couldn't counter them without caps, right? Which is possibly a thing which might be reasonable in the future, right? Is, you know, the whole thing revolves around a conversation of like what place should capitals and sub capitals have relative to each other in the game, which is a pretty fucking hot topic, which obviously no one has really had a great answer to, including CCP.
More Titans would die if they were out in space.
That is a fact. Can't disagree with that.
Sign me up for the G20, dude. Fight super cat proliferation. Let's go.
I think we should get Bob on the CSM. That's my personal take on this.
Let's do it. Let's vote Bob for CSM, whatever the next one is.
Too many Europeans, dude. No, not interested.
What do you mean too many Europeans?
It's in fucking Europe. Why the fuck would I want to go there?
Iceland's not in Europe, it's in Iceland.
It's technically in the European time zone, though, right?
Is Iceland in the EU?
No.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it doesn't count.
Okay. No, I'm still not interested. Too close to the EU.
So you'll do it then?
No.
So you had an excuse, and your excuse was like, proven to be baseless, and then you've just still decided not to do it.
For the sake of my mental health, I'm not doing that. I'm just not interested, dude.
Oh, that's respectable, actually. For the sake of my mental health, I can totally understand that. There's certainly many people in CSM I wouldn't want to interact with on a regular basis.
Yeah, I would never want to be on the CSM because I prefer not being important.
I still want to know who suggested the change to the ESSs. If anybody finds out, please let me know.
I actually missed the part of the show where you were discussing this, Redline. Can you just give me a quick, 2-minute synopsis of this?
Probably the same dipshit that suggested all the other dipshit changes.
Fuck stupid changes because people cry.
It is absolutely fucking disgusting the amount of things that CCP could change for the better with exceptionally simple value changes in this game. Like, literally a number in a database, they could change it and the game would be massively better for it. And they just don't, because they don't know what to change.
I mean, we could tell them what to change, but they wouldn't listen,
Increasing the damage bonus on Armageddon Navy, dude.
I mean, you can
suggest
to them
that badass ship, but then they invented the shacks, and it just fucking removed the Geddon Navy from any significance.
So they need to find a way to make that ship and a few others not bad. And the Caracal Navy issue too. What the fuck are they doing with that? That ship is terrible.
Caracal Navy?
Yes.
There's no better ham ship, HMLs.
If we could just warp Nestor's cloak, you know what I mean? I mean, fuck. There's just so many opportunities. Even if it was a 1 month thing, right? There's a fucking disturbance in the Eve universe force or whatever the fuck. And Nestor's could warp cloaked. Oh shit, dude. Be fucking nasty. Warping, cloaked, smart bomb battleships around, or whatever the fuck you want to do with them, lasers, whatever. It'd be good, dude. It'd be a lot of fun.
You are literally Eve's equivalent of the Joker in the Batman fucking trilogy, aren't you? You just want to see chaos, Bob, don't you?
I do. When I first started playing Eve, it was fucking wild, dude. Everybody was killing everybody. Faction warfare 10 years ago was fucking wild, dude. And now everything's calm. Everybody fucking knows everybody because this stupid program Discord exists. So
Right.
Everybody talks to everybody. It's very difficult to surprise people. No, just fucking. I'm glad there's no local in Pochven. That's part of why I like Pochven so much. There's no local chat. Fuck local chat, dude. And there's actual fights. Yeah, it's good shit, dude. As opposed to I'm not gonna trash wormholers here, but wormhole setup's different. You're fighting in your wormhole or you're fighting in somebody else's, right? Well, Pochven, it's a fucking free for all. It's I don't even know. Low sec, less supers, sprinkle in a few caps, but then you got no local chat. And you can bubble and bomb. I mean, it's fucking badass, dude. But there's stations. Pochven's a lot of fun.
Wait, so it's nullsec, but no caps, basically.
Nullsec without caps and
Very
without
few
local.
caps. And no, yeah, you don't have fucking Jeremy showing up with 3 facts and fucking 15 carriers and 8 revs because you tackle 1 battleship, which would probably be the case. I don't know. I've been to Outer Passage ever, since you guys went there, but you know what I mean? It's not the current bullshit whaling meta of nullsec.
I do not even.
You got to roll up, dude.
This whaling meta stuff is the most uninteresting gameplay on both
Nah,
sides.
it's fucking stupid, dude. It's cool, bait somebody's supers out like a retard like Dave Archer, right?
Hey, you can't say the Game Awards, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do something about it, sure, you get a good dread bomb or something, but
nah. But the whole hey, let's take our 40 dudes and go over here and get 7 hull dreads dropped on us. I mean,
that doesn't even work though, right? Because these whaling ships are the only real viable whaling doctrine that actually works. Carriers and fucking fighter bombers don't apply to them properly at all. They don't really apply any damage at all. So dropping carriers and fucking supers and shit on a Kikamura fleet, there's no incentive to drop supers and fucking titans and shit on a Kiki fleet because they just don't even apply any damage to them. So you don't even get to make those plays. It's just dumb. The whole thing is dumb. Like I've been on the receiving end for many years now, and I've been recently trying to do a little bit of that whaling stuff as well. And it's just not good. Like it's not good gameplay. I don't think.
Let me ask you this, Carmen: is it better to give or receive?
Honestly, I don't even know anymore. Like I think it's probably more fun to receive those whaling fleets personally.
Yeah, I wish there were more of a not this kind of fleet. I mean, whaling fleets, I'll take them as both a giver or a receiver, but it's not what I'd prefer. The kind of fight I'd prefer to be in on either side.
It's not engaging gameplay, and it requires a huge amount of setup, or at least a decent amount of setup on the kind of whaling side, and like it's just not fun really for either side. It's just not that great.
Yeah, and I'd also prefer to have a kind of content where the attackers can find their targets without having to rely mainly on blue scouts like whalers do now.
Like the whaling side of things is like just once you know how to do it properly, it's ridiculously like low effort. How to do it as well is one of the more painful parts about it. You just like walk around with a blue scout, like some disposable spy, find some stuff to shoot, and then I want to how do I find a drifter wormhole connection to this region, right? Like what you do is, another one of CCP's fantastic ideas. You go and set up about 25, 30 alpha accounts, and you just like fly them over to that region in shuttles, and then you just log them off in all drifter whole systems. And then, I want to go to Veil of the Silent, so I'll just like launch my launcher group for all of my alpha accounts of Veil of the Silent. And then within 5 minutes, exactly, like every single system in a region, which system has a drift hole, which one it is, where does it go, bookmarks as well. Like it's just ridiculous how easy it is to do by just abusing the stuff that CCP gives you, the reasonable tools to use. Whaling is dumb. We should get Panda on the show. It's pretty late for him though.
Or it's pretty early for him.
Well, Pando doesn't even whale anymore. He doesn't even do that shit. Pando used to be like the scary whaling FC from Init, years ago, when they used to do like all of the actual good kind of scary, gimmicky, tricky stuff where they're like 10 things to like trap you down and kill you. And now it's like just I don't know, like just from all sides, it's kind of just low effort. They just bring a bunch of kickies and that's it.
Yeah, Pando is probably the best FC in the entire Imperium.
Well, that's pretty fucking low over there, I would say, but I like Pando.
Oh, no!
I mean, you're not wrong, though. The bar is pretty fucking low. But they did beat all you guys, though. Yikes.
He's not the boogeyman, though, dude. He's not the fucking boogeyman.
Not
Maybe
anymore.
Scary, but yeah.
Panda's a good dude. I like him.
Yeah, like I've spent the past year or so saying bad things about the Imperium because of the war, but I like Pando from my limited encounters with him.
Honest to God, right? There ain't many people who are like FCs on the Imperium side that I've chatted to that I didn't like actually kind of get on with. Like I think there's maybe one or two people who've like really like they've tried to make it like an antagonistic like relationship where we're just gonna not be able to chat.
Yeah,
but by and large, almost all of them have been like super friendly and actually like down to just like chat shit, have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, like I may dislike some alliances, but most of the people in those alliances, as individuals, I have nothing against them. Most of them are pretty good people.
You just got to realize it's a video game at the end of the day, right? I mean, Goons especially, like all of the Goon FCs I've spoken to one-on-one, they've been real good sports, good shit talkers, good for chatting a bit of banter, good sports. It's just a shame some other people aren't. Have we covered tonight like the whole thing with like initiative is like going and poking at like try space and Cloud Ring, like going fucking with that shit.
I hadn't heard anything about that.
I was hoping someone else was going to talk about it because I don't really know too much about it. Other than Goons and In It, I believe, have both been heading up to Cloud Ring a little bit to go and kick over some of Triumvirate sandcastles.
Yeah, I know that they've been doing that, but I don't really know what's going on there.
I have a suspicion that might be the direction that they will be headed in at the start of the next year with their potential deployment that Goons had mentioned on one of their firesides. Head up there to the northwest and go and kick some puppies for a while. Go and regain some confidence.
Northwest, like where Brave is?
Northwest? You mean like Kanye West's daughter?
No. Wait, so you think Goons are going to deploy against Brave?
I mean, I don't know, but like, I wouldn't be surprised.
God,
like,
sounds like wishful thinking, dude.
That whole area where like, no, wishful thinking would be like fucking hoping they come towards us, which ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I hope that happens, but I'm not counting on it.
I would be so fucking happy for them to come at us. I promise you. Like, that would be like fucking Christmas come early for me.
They're never coming, dude.
Isn't just deploy to shoot Brave what you do when you have nothing else to do?
Yes. There's an entire alliance waiting for Goons in Outer Passage, though. Like, an entire alliance just sitting there.
I mean, they've talked a lot of talk about coming after Tess, but words are cheap. I think that's the phrase.
Dude, I'll shoot Tess.
Good.
Fucking hit me up. Let's go.
Dude, come along. Fucking anytime. Always invited.
We'll see how resilient PanFam allies are. There's probably a bunch of groups that want to shoot Tess. Now that I think about it.
I mean, honestly, like if Goons and Inner kind of actually wanted to go that route, probably be good for the game, I think.
Because you can just skip all the Fire Co bullshit in the southeast, right? And just come in via Great Wildlands.
Well, I mean, depends like what route you want to go with it, but like that's
like take cash, like Recon. Recon has that entry pocket from Great Wildlands into cash, right? Fuck, you just even if they swap the iHubs to Horde right now, that's 36 days you have until it's jamable. You can just go in through cash, dude, and fucking make it to Outer Passage and skip all the fucking Malpass and TKE, Inspire, and Ethereum Reach and all that shit.
Well, there's 3 routes to get into drones, right? There's a whole bunch of regional gates which are fucking dumb to go through, and then there's like the Great Wildlands way in up to the kind of western side of drones, and then there's like the cache side through towards the east side of drones. So there's kind of like 2 realistic routes, and both of them aren't great if you're coming a long way to get there. So we'll see how it's going to go.
I would just go through cash, dude.
I think it'll be some good fights, man. Could be fun. And certainly there's no way they're going to come through Fire's space without Fire, wanting to shoot them.
Yeah, there's like these iHubs and this Recon pocket they're high ADM, but they're all EU. And PanFam has to take gates to get their supers in their range. No, if I'm Goons, I go there, dude. Fuck that Uman deployment number 19 they're thinking about. Just go to fucking Great Wildlands.
What have they ever accomplished with an Uman deployment? What you're suggesting would actually be interesting for everyone.
They reinforced a bunch of jump bridges, is my understanding of the deployment that was done by Initiative and one of the Goon SIGs. They kind of like created some timers and shot some jump bridges, and then that was about it, really. Didn't really do too much, and then went home claiming victory afterwards.
Like if I'm Goons, I go stage in Kenora, which sounds fucking weird, right? But you get some British Titans and Pasta set up an N-rail. And then after that happens, you send Init over to fucking, fuck around and put pressure on like the Juvenate side, right? To pull Horde both ways. So Horde has to pick one side to, defend. Then you backdoor it over to Taffy.
What was about? Huh? Kenora. What? How do you spell that? Kenora.
You don't know Kenora, dude? Are you serious?
Dude, I'm like a sweet summer child. I'm real new.
Oh my gosh, dude! you're a virgin basically.
In Metropolis?
Well,
Yeah,
but I'm
dude.
also new to the game, right?
Kenora's it's next door. It's low sec next door to fucking Great Wildlands.
Yeah, that's a regional
that
game.
place.
Yeah, dude. And then you can still roam around and go fuck around with Fireco and them because they got decent. I mean, they picked up some more groups, right? Kind of some of Legacy collapsed into over there, and they're actually more organized now than they were for the last 3 or 4 years. So I mean, yeah. If I'm goons, I go over there. Just take subs, do the SIG deployment at first, right? They always do. Then eventually move fucking caps over.
Yeah, if any coalitions can be said to have won this past war, it's Fireco and Winterco.
Well, I'd say goons won, but okay.
Goons, they certainly lost enough that it would be difficult for them to say, emphatically, "Oh yeah, we won." I'm sure they are, but it wasn't a one-sided victory, right? It was kind of don't know a good way to describe what I'm trying to say.
You got abandoned by your allies, Carmen. They fucking quit on you. It's fucked up, huh?
I don't understand what you're saying.
They planned to quit on you for months.
Who?
I'm talking about NC.
Oh yeah, I knew about that. It's fine. It's just a cost of doing business, right? Like you be in a big coalition with a bunch of dudes, some people are going to get cold feet, some people are going to have second thoughts. It's par for the course. I'm pretty sure everyone who was involved in it, had those same ideas at one point or another, right?
Not everybody does back workouts. They're weak. No spine. Fucking weak tendons back there and shit.
No, I shouldn't say that.
Well, go ahead.
No, it's mean. I'm better than that.
Who's gonna kick you, Carmen? Just fucking say it, dude.
Really, who's gonna kick you at this point, man?
No one's gonna kick you.
It's just not. It's just unbecoming. Ain't fair. I ain't gonna say it.
Carmen, I've heard you yell at a lot of people before. Don't fucking try to play the patron saint right now.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have. I'd go on your fleet when I had a fucking test off, and you get all upset over whatever bullshit. You start yelling. I'm just sitting there cracking up hysterically. And that's what spawned the Carmen Yell meme that, it just took off. It was a beautiful thing.
You were really good at creating those memes as well. It's like getting good ideas that stick. You did that real well. I was impressed by it.
Charisma.
And on that note, I think we finally reached the end of the show. Much to everybody's happiness, we finally get to go to sleep.
I'll throw it out just because we're finishing.
Speak for yourself. I got shit to do still tonight in game.
You want to talk about no spine, Bob? Fucking, look at fucking Frogod and Billy going AFK for months on the fucking row after them two happened. Who got fucking bundled with fucking trying to run all of test after that happened? Fucking muggins.
Oofda. And here come the credits. Of course they work. Why wouldn't they work? I don't know if people can hear you. Huh? They always work. Who are we gonna raid?